Men jag har försökt en timme nu. What's up, new multi-stream people? Why does he keep doing that, man? It's so annoying. Shift means drop, man. What does it equip it? Whoops, didn't mean to DC there. Let's look at my book.
He prepared his ogre arrows. James could see his mouth whisper Fossel. James rolled just in time as the railgun-like arrow pierced the air. It was an impact arrow next. It was very hard to keep the arm shield in place. One arrow got stuck in the shield. The bow was as powerful as a gun. James approached shield up and went for a spin, but O'Brien used hurricane magic. He jumped to the other end of the arena.
Happened?
James sprinted and threw 2 warhammers. O'Brien jumped and somersaulted in the air, avoiding them. James threw 2 more to keep him busy, but as he approached he was knocked back by a gust instantly to the other side. James went to the middle. He said, "You can't hurt me, you have to come closer," and did the thinker knee to the elbow pose in absolute unit. Brian shot to the throat but could not pierce his skin. James equipped and emptied all 7 throwing axes, all 6 belt warhammers, and knife he threw in a flurry. He threw from all angles and curving. 2 warhammers he sent where he thought he was going to dodge, and it hit him, hurting his legs. What annoying thing could he possibly do now? O'Brien threw a vial of blinding smoke and read a scroll that made the ground spout with sticky dark green goo, trapping him swampy, and then he jumped to the other side of the arena. James was trapped by his senses. He figured he needed to clad himself with armor in the smoke. Indeed, he got pelted by ice arrows. O'Brien didn't think this was going to cut it either. He exchanged his bow for the ballista slowly. James put his shield over. That was all he could thought to do in the moment, and thunk, the impact in the shield was like getting punched in the gut. The enchanted javelin had half gone through his shield. James needed to be smarter. James saw him whisper Eld Fucina jaunt. What does that mean? The next javelin exploded on his shield and left a 25-meter wake of fire behind. Hellcast, sunder and destroy, he said wildly. He fired an eldritch javelin. James jumped over it. Speed technique, breath of the dead. O'Brien protected himself, but James had gone for the ballista. It split into 2 pieces. Brian hewed his axe hard into James' shoulder in retaliation practice for the melee, but he was an absolute unit. He bellowed had or SOF and knocked him into the wall, followed up with impact stomach stab. O'Brien clutched his wound and jumped off, but James jumped instantly after and knocked him down with an red angry impact headbutt. O'Brien stabbed with a fiery javelin. James took it, burning his hands, and then it went into his stomach. Let's see how you run without legs. James missed 1 katana slice, but then he stabbed him furiously into the middle of his upper leg, cut out left and sliced off his entire left leg at the knee too. You win fair and square, knock me unconscious. You get what you get. James plunged the katana brutally into his liver and made a huge J cut into his torso. If you survive, you have honor. O'Brien fell down to his left. It doesn't get better than this, gentlemen. It's what we've been waiting for, the top 2 finals. Iron Demon Samurai Shuisui versus Full Packed Army J for James. Out came a very dark blue and silver-colored samurai in a metal mask. He looked like a menacing samurai robot. But wasn't one, full samurai armor, puffy large legs, metal and painted bamboo mix, flat shoulders, wide flappy legs, flat part of the headpiece looking like an opened helmet you could fit your head in and close still. Golden U lodged at the forehead in gold in the headpiece. Demon mask. Do you have honor in life or in death? We shall see. Rip and tear. James started blasting with his robot gun automatic. The crowd really enjoyed this magic. The samurai stood still and did some dancing Egyptian movement. None of the bullets had passed through. James could see the red-black alloy, absolute unit, thus from his enemy. Shuisui laughed like a demon and with speed technique sliced through on. In slow-mo, actually, we can see James protected himself with absolute unit and slammed Shuisui into the ground with his robot arm mechanical strength. After bouncing, Shuisui kicked his arm away as James plasma cannoned the air. James breathed frost and froze him in place like an icicle. Take this if you're a man, James said like an executioner and put the plasma cannon into maximum overdrive and blasted his chest. UUUURHHHTHE explosion had pierced his absolute unit. He coughed blood on his knees, looked and was kind of done, but then got up ferociously. The samurai went for his robot arm, clawing with his sharpened left hand and right and slicing, trying to pull it off. James protected his arm also, of course, spirit-clad. You won't pierce my absolute unit again. James fired his guns at blank range. They went through the clawing iron demon. James did a lashing, foul tongue, in the flesh that was open after his blast. The samurai charged an overhead, but James froze him again and kicked him in the flesh wound and then swiftly in the head. Before he had recovered, he drop-kicked him with superior thunder impact magic, far into the wall. Shush! The samurai disappeared as he threw a smoke bomb on the ground. James expected an attack, waited for him to move. 20 seconds later he saw, Shuisui had been drinking from a large jar with black liquid, standing still. His wound had healed and he had a deeper demonic voice. Good as new. James lassoed the jar to him and was going to chug. Don't drink, my friend, you might not like what comes out. James crushed it thus manly. James lassoed